Hey guys, welcome back to JK Fishing. Today we're on the upper Niagara River. We launched at Miller's boat launch in Fort Erie. Two main types of fishing we're doing is bottom bouncing for some bass and walleye maybe, and some trolling for possible muskie and walleye. As you can see, it's beautiful out here. It's a little windy, but I'll make do. Now let's get to the fishing. So we hooked up on a fish, saw a surface, and it's not fighting much, but this on the new lure you put on the smaller one, eh?
Yeah.
So, see, it's coming up here.
We'll try and bring it on that side of the boat.
Yeah, we're just out here right by Grand Island in Canadian waters on the Niagara River, Upper Niagara. What do you think it is? I don't think it's anything heavy, but it's probably a big old walleye.
Look at him, it's a walleye.
That's a big walleye, net it. Oh, there he's dead. That's a good sized walleye, guys.
Look what a fish we got here.
Wow. Wow, that's a good sized walleye.
Wow.
His neck there.
On his neck?
Yeah. Alright, here, grab it.
That's
Here,
a
hold the
beast of a
GoPro.
walleye right there.
Oh yeah, he's got some growth.
Yeah, it's fine.
Gnarly teeth on him.
So
We'll put him in the cooler.
So I'm gonna troll around with some of these lures.
All these.
He's heavy.
What is he doing?
Look at the size of that
Look
walleye.
at his back. Look at the size of that thing, man. That's a good sized fish.
It's a thick walleye.
Hooked up on a perch with the drop shot.
This is what you call a Niagara River / Lake Erie perch.
Jeez, man.
Good eating size.
Beauty.
Throw him in the cooler. So this is the perch you saw catching the video on a drop shot rig. I'm just gonna fillet it quickly for you guys, show you how it's done. So just to start, you want to make an incision behind the pectoral fin, all the way up to behind the head. The skin and the scales on these fish is really tough, so make sure you have a nice sharp knife. Meat goes all the way up there. Next, you just want to take your knife and glide it all the way along the spine. And you can just poke through it again. Just off like that. Then just with any normal fish, you slowly want to work all the way down. As you lift at the meat, you want to work down. Now I've hit the spine, so you want to go up quickly and then angle it down once you get over the spine. Obviously with perch, because you don't get much meat off of them, it is nice if you have lots of them, but this was the only perch that we caught today because we were not targeting them. And here's the rib cage. So just want to slide your knife over the ribs there. And once you get over the rib cage, you want to start angling it down again, all the way to the skin there. And then just poke your knife through like that. Then you could just poke through the skin there, because all that under there is bone. There's your perch fillet. All this in here is rib cage and bone. It's hard to get much meat off that. So next you just want to skin it like any normal fish. Just pin down the tail. Just angle your knife at a 45-degree angle, while working all the way down along the skin. And there you have it. There's your perch fillet. please. Okay, guys, this is the walleye we caught. It was pretty big walleye we got from the river. Anyways, I'm just gonna fillet it for you. Show you how we do it. We've filleted them before from Lake Erie. Like perch, they have really thick scales, right? And you need a sharp knife to get through. I'm just using this Dexter Basics knife. Then you're gonna want to run along. You're gonna come from that first incision along the blade. There you go. Feel that spine. You can run right along it. Oh my, look at the poo that came out of it. That's disgusting.
Been feeding a lot.
Yeah, you can tell big gut feeding for the winter. This is a big fish. Normally they're like not even half this size. Most people don't keep these ones, well, if they catch enough, right? So now I'm going to show you a quick trick, guys. Once you make that fillet, flip your guy over, look at the blood, and do the other side, because it's easier to fillet the fish when you've got both sides on him, instead of having one side cut off and flat. You should make that same incision. Wow, this guy got tough scales. And then kind of just poke through the other side there. Push your knife down. You'll feel that, those bones. Sharp knife. There you go. This first side done. You'll just be able to feel all those pin bones there.
Meat on these walleye is pretty firm, so it's not like when you're gripping onto it, when you're lifting up the meat, it's not like it's falling apart on you, unlike some mushier fish.
Yeah, and then once you feel that spine, you're going to want to angle your knife down. Poke through again. Keep going. You'll feel they have a really big rib cage, I find. There's their bladder still going. And where the rib cage actually ends, so poke through again. It's hard to find where the rib cage actually ends, but it's somewhere right up here. And that's where a lot of people lose a lot of meat. And we did at first too, when we were filleting these guys. But here's your rib cage. Here's really big. You'll feel those bones as you come across. Angle down into them, don't be afraid. There you are. It's coming apart nicely. See the bones there. And down. You see those bones all there. Keep running along them. If you have a good knife, you'll be fine. Now you're just gonna take your knife and cut, just like that. Cut all that out. There you go. Once you got that, you start skinning it. Pinch with your fingers, angle down. Push. This meat we don't like. This is really like, this belly meat, it does not, you can see even the difference in color. It's not as good. That's why on my fillet I kind of go around it. And basically you're done when you have this fillet, guys. That's it. Clean on the extra pin bones and you're good.
So now we're going to cook it. All we have here is some walleye, some flour on a plate, cutting board to put the fillets, eggs, 2 cups of flour, big mixing bowl, a whisk, some tongs, vegetable oil, and a sieve, and we're using a deep fryer. So here's fish fillets, And first step you want to do is you want to coat the fish with flour. One tip is before you just coat the fish, you want to make sure that it's dry so that the flour sticks to it better. Whereas if it's wet, the flour won't stick. And then you just want to shake off any excess. You just want to repeat that process with all the fillets. Make sure that the entire thing is covered because you want the batter to be sticking to the whole fish, not just parts of it. So here are the fillets after we put them all in flour. And the next step we want to do is make the batter. So the batter is pretty simple. It just consists of 2 cups of flour, 3 eggs, and as much water to get the consistency that you want to get. So you're just going to crack all the eggs in the mixing bowl. And then what you're going to do after that is you're going to take your whisk and you're going to break all the eggs and just whisk the eggs until it is all the same color, like a light yellowish color. You just want to whisk. You could use a fork for this if you don't have a whisk. Both work well, but I do prefer the whisk. So that's the color and consistency that you want the eggs to be. Notice how there's no big spots of egg whites floating around in there. And next you're going to add your flour. You just want to dump it in there. Doesn't matter how, as long as you just dump it in there. And you're just going to mix it. You want to mix it, and one thing about just mixing the flour with the eggs is that it gets really clumpy. So we are going to add water, and you add enough water till you have a texture like this. Always be mixing. And now, next, you're going to coat the fish in your batter so it's ready for the fryer. And what you're going to do, you're just going to take the fish and you're going to want to completely submerge it in the batter, just like so. Make sure that the entire surface of the fish is covered so you have a even layer of batter, just like that. Make sure you get both sides of it. Make sure it's all covered in flour. Next, we do have our deep fryer preheated to 320, and you're just gonna put them in the vegetable oil. You're just gonna dump them in. Try to make sure that you don't splash anywhere because it is hot oil and it can burn you. And yeah, when you dump them in, you just want to make sure that they're not on top of each other. Otherwise, it'll be all together in one clump. And there's our finished product. There's our walleye and there's our perch. And now to the eating part. Perch is here, walleye's here. I'm just gonna try them, tell you guys what I think. Obviously your opinion can differ from mine. So right now I'm just gonna take a bite of the perch. So what I realized from trying this perch is it has a lighter meat, white meat like most other panfish, but it does have a little bit of a fishy taste. So for those of you who don't like fishy taste but want to eat perch, I would advise you guys to use more dressing, more marinade, more flavor than like what you do with other fish like haddock. And now onto the walleye. So the main difference between walleye and perch is that the perch has a little bit more of a fishy taste. They're both white meat. But I do enjoy both of these fish, especially with this recipe. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, share this with your friends, and we'll see you next time on JK Fishing.